Back. This is day 3, I think, day 3 of Algebra 1. So we're going to talk a little bit more about equations. We've got different things that we can do with our equations. So you can have infinite solutions or no solutions. So that is what we're going to talk about today. But before we get started, I do want to review what we went through yesterday and work through those problems. Sorry, my camera is doing funny things right now. So, okay, with this, I want you to solve. So 9 times x minus 4 minus a 7x is equal to 32 minus a 2 times x plus 8. Okay, and then the next one is negative 4 times x plus 5 is equal to 5/3 times 3x minus a 12. So I want y'all to try these two problems. So take about 10 minutes and work through these two, and then we will go through them. Okay, so pause the video and go through them. All right, so let's look at this first one, number 1 here. First thing I need to do is to distribute. So I'm going to say 9 times x, which is a 9x, 9 times negative 4, which is a negative 36. Minus a 7x is equal to 32 minus, distribute here, negative 2 times x, which is a negative 2x, negative 2 times an 8, which is a negative 16. Okay. Okay. So now I need to combine like terms on the same side of the equation. So 9x minus a 7x. So I'm going to do those operations there. So 9 minus a 7 is a 2x minus a 36. And then on the other side, I've got 32 minus a 16. So I am going to combine those two, and those are the same there. So 32 minus a 16 is going to be a positive 16. Okay. So now I've got like terms on opposite sides of the equation that I need to get together. So I am going to add 2x on both sides. So when I do that, I'm going to have a 4x minus a 36 is equal to a positive 16. Now I need to get my constant terms together, so I am going to add 36, do the opposite operation of subtraction, add 36 on both sides. So when I do this, I'm going to have 16 plus a 36, which is a positive 52. And then you will divide both sides by 4. So x is going to be equal to 52 divided by 4. 52 divided by 4, which is, I think, a 13. Sorry. Okay. All right. Hopefully you did pretty good on that one. All right, let's look at the second one here. So the second one was negative 4 times x plus 5 is equal to a 5/3 times 3x minus a 12. So same thing. First thing I need to do is to distribute. So negative 4 times x is a negative 4. X, negative 4 times 5, which is a negative 20. Okay, when you multiply here, you're going to say 5/3 times 3x. So that is going to be a 5x. And here you're going to have 5/3 times a 12. And that is a 12 over 1. So 3 goes into 12 4 times. So 4 times 5 is a negative 20. So now you've got this going on. Okay. Alright, so now I need to combine like terms on opposite sides. So I am going to subtract 5x here. So when I do that, I'm going to have a negative 9x minus a 20 is equal to a negative 20. Combine your constants, so you're going to add 20 to both sides. So you're going to get a negative 9x is going to be equal to a 0. Divide both sides by negative 9. So x here is going to be equal to a 0. Okay, so that is solving equations. It's a review of what went through yesterday. Okay? All right. Okay, so today when we are going to look at solutions, no solutions, and infinitely many solutions. Okay, so we're going to talk quickly about no solutions, and then we're just going to solve a bunch of problems. Okay, so let's do an example here. It's always just good to do an example to kind of show you what I mean by when I say no solution. Okay, so when you are going to solve this, you are going to distribute negative 4 times 2x. Negative 4 times 2x is a negative 8x. Negative 4 times a 1 is a negative 4. Okay, so how else would you solve this? Now you need to combine your variables on opposite sides. So when you combine them, you're going to add. Well, when you add there, you're going to be, that one's going to go away because you're moving that one to the other side. So this one went away. Okay, but what happens over here? That one's also going to go away. So all you're going to be left with over here is a negative 4 is equal to a negative 2. So when the variables go away completely, okay, then you're going to be left with a true statement or a not a true statement. So here I'm left with negative 4 is equal to a negative 2. Is that true? Does negative 4 ever equal negative 2? Okay, it doesn't. So when the variable goes away and that equation right there, this equals right here, is not true, then this is going to be considered an equation that has no solution. Okay? So, when variable goes away, okay, you look to see if the equation is true. Okay, when it is not true, like that above one, okay, there is no solution to the equation. That just means that there's no value, okay, that you could possibly plug in there that will make the equation true. There's no value, no x value that will make that equation true. Okay, so that is where you have a no solution. Okay, so let's look at infinite solutions. Okay, so let's do one. Negative 5 minus a 9x is equal to 3 times 1 minus a 3x minus an 8. Okay, so here I've got, can't combine anything over on the left hand side, but the right hand side I can do some combining. So I'm going to say 3 times 1, which is a 3, 3 times negative 3, which is a 9x, or negative 9x, minus an 8. Okay, now you're going to combine like terms on the same side. So you're going to have a 3 minus an 8, which is a negative 5. Okay, so now I'm going to move the 9x over. Okay, when I move the 9x over, what happens? They basically go away. So you are going to be left with negative 5 is equal to a negative 5. Is that true? That is a true statement. Negative 5 does equal negative 5. So when that is happening, then we say that every number works. So we call this infinite solutions. So there's so many solutions that we can't even count. and we write it as a little infinity sign. Don't get crazy, that is. I write it as a sideways 8 because my infinity sign is very ugly. It's where it's a little loop, 2 circles kind of put together, and you just don't ever pick up your pen. But I write it as that little 8 there. Okay? So, when the variables go away, okay, and you are left with a true statement. Okay, it is infinite solutions. Okay. All right, so let's do some examples of solving just equations where they may be infinite solutions or no solutions or may have a solution. So these are possibilities of having all kinds of it. So it could be a solution, or it could be no solution or infinite solution. So let's look. So here is a 1. So we've got 6 times 2x minus 6 is equal to negative 7 times negative 2x plus a 4. Okay, so take a minute and try to work through this problem. Okay, you should be excellent at solving an equation by now. Okay, so here we've got 6, so we need to simplify, so distribute that 6. So 6 times 2x is a 12x, 6 times negative 6 is a negative 36. Negative 7 times a negative 2x, which is a positive 14x. Negative 7 times a 4, which is a negative 28. Okay, draw your little line here. So now I need to combine like terms on opposite sides. So I am going to combine my variables here. And my variables are not going to go away here because 12x minus a 14x gives me a negative 2x. Okay, so now I'm going to move the positive. So I'm going to move up that 36 to the opposite side. So you're going to be left with a negative 2x is going to be equal to a negative 28 plus a 36, which is going to be a positive 8. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2, so x here is going to be equal to a negative 4. Okay? Alright, so I'll take this one and try to do this one here. Try to solve this one. So take a minute and work through this one and see what happens for this one. Okay, so distribute first, simplify. So 3 times 2x is a 6x, 3 times 2 is a 6. Okay, I am going to combine like terms on the same side. So 6 minus a 3x is a 3x. Okay, now I need to go on opposite sides, so I'm going to subtract that 3x. Well, when I subtract it, it's going to go away on now both sides, so I'm going to be left with a positive 6 is equal to a positive 6. This is true, so 6 does equal 6, so that means that this solution is going to have infinitely many solutions. So no matter what I plug in there, it could be possibly a solution to that equation. Okay? All right, I'll try to do this one here. So 8 times 5x minus 3 is equal to 6 times negative 3x minus a 4. Okay, so distribute. So 8 times 5x, which is a 40. x. 8 times negative 3, which is a negative 24. 6 times negative 3, which is a negative 18x. 6 times negative 4, which is a negative 24. Okay? Is there anything on the same sides that you can combine? Okay? There's not. So first thing I need to do is add my 18x over with my 40x. So when I combine those two together, that is going to be a 58x. Okay? So now I need to add 24 because we're doing the opposite operation. So we are going to have 58x is equal to a 0. Divide both sides by 58. So x here is going to be equal to a 0. Okay, so the variable didn't go away, so that's still, you just still keep going down and solving that one the best that you can. Okay? Alright, let's do one more here. So I'll try to do this one here. So 3x minus a 13 is equal to 7 times x plus 2 minus 4 times x minus a 7. So take a minute and work through that one. Okay, so combine like terms on the same side. So 7 times x is a 7x. 7 times 2 is a 14. Negative 4 times x is a negative 4x. Negative 4 times a negative 7 is a positive 28. Okay, so now we're going to combine like terms here. So 7x minus a 4x is a 30x. And then 14 plus a 28 there is going to give you a positive 42. Okay, so now we need to combine like terms on opposite sides. So I'm going to subtract that 3x. When I do that, my variable goes away. So I'm going to be left with a negative 13 is equal to a 42 because my variable goes away there, right? It's going to be left with a 0x, but 0 times anything is just a 0, so it just goes away. So negative 13 is equal to a 42. Is that true? That's not true. So here, this is going to be a no solution. And sometimes that's noted with an empty set. That's what that represents. Empty set. It means nothing can satisfy that. Okay? No term, no variable, nothing can you plug in to that. Okay? So the next thing I want you to do is you will get in pairs, groups, hopefully, and then you can work on that equation sheet. There's about 11 questions, maybe. There's basically like 11 questions, and one partner will work a certain amount of the equations, and the other partner will work the other set of the equations, and then you're going to match them up. Okay? All right. And then also make sure that you start working on your homework for this section. Okay? Y'all have a great day, and I will see y'all tomorrow.